Hi guys, I thought I would show you how I quarter up a chicken. We just processed our birds in the last couple days, so I've got a bunch I need to quarter up and put in our freezer for this year's use. I've already done a number, but still have more to go. So I know probably not everybody knows how to quarter up chickens because anymore, you know, we just buy them at the store and it's already done. So I thought I'd show you. I'm no expert, keep in mind. I don't do it perfectly every single time, but this is how I do it. So here's one of our birds. These are the Cornish crossbirds. This is what they look like after we have finished. I do leave a pretty good neck on them because when I'm done, I actually keep the carcasses and use them for bone broth. So the more bones I keep, the more healthy I can make my broth. So anyways, start with a good knife. It is sharpened before I started. I've already done a few this morning. This is a Victorinox. They stay pretty sharp. I think I just got it on Amazon if I remember right. But anyways, and then another thing you definitely will use a lot of are some good kitchen shears, such as these. So here, start with the leg. I just want to separate it little by little, slicing. Your knife should be good and sharp because you don't want to have to saw. Just little shortcuts. All right, now then, just pull that back and this joint will pop out. And just come in between here and just slice little by little. Kind of on the underside, and I can just cut through. So this is your leg and your thigh. You can leave them like this if you want to do the quarters to grill them or such. I like to separate them because I package them separate. So the good spot to separate them, you can kind of see here, is there's a division basically. There is a joint right in here. And sometimes I do this beautifully and perfect. Other times I butcher it a little bit. But generally speaking, you want to go kind of in there where you can feel that joint. Go down. Yeah, this time I got not perfect. You can see that joint. Come underneath, hold it between my fingers like this, and just come up. And now you have your thigh and your leg. Okay, in my bowl over here I have to decide where I'm just collecting everything. When I'm done with this one, I'll go through and package up some parts. Okay, wing next. This one, I know I don't do it perfectly, but it gets the job done. So there's a joint in here. I go in point down first and go pretty close to the wing as I can. I end up probably with more meat than a professional would do, but it's okay. This is just for our family. All right, so that'll be, like I said, a little extra meat, whatever. I do clip off the tips, and this is where your kitchen shears come in handy. I go right in between, let's see if I can go this way, show you, in between here. I keep these, I put them with the carcasses because it's just more bones for my bone broth. And then here to separate this, here's your little leg. And here's this part of the wing, so your drummet, your leg, I cut right in between here, once again with the shears. Now you have your drummet and your wing. Flip it over, repeat. Pull it back, that joint will pop right out. just come through. And once again, you get your quarter. I'm gonna go in between here. That joint should be. Go underneath. Come up. Pretty good. Second wing. Ooh, that one I did good on. I wish they all came with that easily. Cut this tip off. Gonna go, there's that drumette, there's that bone. I'm gonna go right between here. Sometimes the skin doesn't like to cut with these scissors too well. All right, now for the breasts. I like boneless, skinless. So I pull back this little film that's like your fascia that separates the skin, or connects, I should say, the skin from the breast. So just kind of with a light knife. A lot of times your fingers will do the work for the most part. Flip it over. The same on this side. See, there's that fascia again. Just separate it. Come in the light knife back here. Just go down the center. Separate it. Now on all chickens, and I don't know what, but they have this string right here that connects. You can see like there's a little pinhole on this side. I don't know, it's normal. Don't worry about it if you see it, just cut it off. So we're just cutting, cut this off, cut that off. Okay, so now we've got our two breasts. So your backbone, breastbone, sorry, backbone's on the back. Breastbone, gonna go down right beside it, slice down. Just put your fingers in here and just kind of work it, just ever so slightly, a light touch. And there's all these little bones in here that's on the ribs, that is the ribs. So if you just kind of go along those real lightly, the meat will separate pretty easily from that. Now, your wishbone is right here. Everybody remembers the wishbone from Thanksgiving, right? So just go down close to that as you can, just to try and get as much meat as possible is the reason. So there it is, if you can see it. Get my finger in here. See? Wishbone. And the more you do this, the better you get at it. By the time I'm done with this season's chickens, I'll be a pro. And then I'll have to wait again for another few months before I do it again. Anyways, okay, so now you have your breast, but on the inside, you like chicken tenders, right? So this is your tender right there. You can just separate it. Some people leave it. I like to separate it because I like to have chicken tenders sometimes. So you'll have one on the inside of each breast. And once again, inside here, there's this fascia. I like to pull it off. It just kind of gets a little stringy and sometimes a little tough if you leave it on when you cook it. It just really easily pulls off. As I kind of make a mess. Anyways, so there's your breast. Set that off to the side. Now, when I pull that little piece off, there's always some meat attached to it. I don't like to waste anything, so I just take the back of my knife, the non-sharp part, hold it, and pull. And then I get a little chunk of meat. These little chunks of meat I save, and I collect them all. And if I'm making like a stir fry or something, I will use those little bits. because another little spot I will usually cut from is this right here. It's not much, but it adds up when you do like 20 birds. You get little bits like this. Really good for stir fry. This is another one. This is a really tender piece. So then I go do the other side. My second breast. Same thing as the first side. Go start with the tip of your knife. Go right down that bone. Breastbone. Stay as close to it as you can. Kind of run your finger along there. It will separate. Over on this side. Using your fingers. Kind of use the tip of your knife just to ever so slightly cut as you go, just a little bit. You don't need a lot of cutting when you do a chicken. And go down by that wishbone. You have to move this chicken around a lot. Position it so it's easiest for you, so you're not having to work as hard. Make it convenient, comfortable. Cut off any little strands I see that I don't want. Okay, once again, on the inside, here's my tender. I'll just pull it back. Oh, it has a little blood on it for some reason. There's that fascia again. Just peel that off. That's pressed. Take the back of my knife. Pull. And I'm left with my little bit. Come back and get these couple little pieces I like to get. And then we're going to call it good. Now I will package up 2 of these carcasses in a freezer bag, my vacuum sealed freezer bags. And I will save them so that when I want to make chicken broth, chicken bone broth, then I will put those 2 in my Instant Pot with herbs and salt, and lots of salt, some peppercorns, all kinds of good stuff, and cook it down. And then you have homemade bone broth. So you're always better off getting a whole chicken at the store or from your local farmer, because you're going to get multiple uses out of it. You're going to get at least a meal, depending on the size of your family, maybe 2 meals, and then you will get broth from your carcass too. So more bang for your buck. And it's a good skill to know how to cut up a chicken. Used to, that was the only option. They didn't have pieces. You couldn't just go to the store and get boneless, skinless chicken breast. That wasn't a thing. It didn't exist. Even from whenever I was a member. When I was a little kid, I remember my mom never liked cooking chicken because she had to quarter it up. So, okay, hope that helps, and thanks for watching. Bye.